Hi traders, back with the third video of this week on the euro dollar and pound dollar. Of course, a new update is coming over the weekend. Before we take a look at the charts though, just wanted to make you aware, because not everyone knows that we have actually ECS Live with live analysis and live setups. For instance, we had a euro dollar long yesterday, which grabbed about 40 pips. As I already indicated in my analysis that we're looking for an upside continuation. We did that actually with ECS Live. We did that ourselves and mentioned that trade in ECS Live. Then it had a pound dollar win. Very good week so far. Of course, not every week is equally good, but you can see the total stats from the very beginning, October 2017. So we're now almost approaching 1.5 years. You can see the total stats right here. All right, let's take a look at the stats. Look at the graphs, sorry. All right, so we got that breakout price, as I mentioned, stayed above this top, which is very important because of the wave 4 pattern that was possible, and this is looking now like a wave 1, 2, and we are looking like a wave 3 right here, all right? Now within wave 3, I think, now not everyone is a big fan of waves, of course there's waves, but we're looking at a 5-wave pattern here, so I think that that could be complete. So let's put the fib from the very bottom here to the top, and let's take a look at what kind of fibs we can get. We could see perhaps a retracement right now. I think that there could be a retracement time to the 23.6 and 38.2 fib to the broken tops basically up in here. You can see those 115 zone, of course, was important in the past. That could be the turning spot for continuation higher. I think with the break of 115 that the main target now is around 117.50, the next quarter level maybe up to 118, depending on, if you add some fibs, there could be a confluence of resistance at that zone. So I think we're looking at the potential retracement. I would like to see a retracement here and a bounce for continuation higher to those mentioned targets. And of course, there could be maybe a pattern in between, some bull flag pause basically before we get a continuation. It doesn't have to fly up 250 pips in one shot. Of course, there could be some ups and downs, logically, flags like this. But ultimately, I think that that could be the target if indeed this is a wave 4 and up we go for a wave 5. All right. Now, what if price breaks below the 50 fib? Now, that would worry me a little bit. I don't think price should go below the 50 fib because we have, first of all, a very strong candle here, and that low is right at the 50 fib. We also have the 21 EMA zone, and we have those previous tops. So and a wave 4 also typically does not retrace deeper than a 50 fib, right? 50 fib is actually already quite deep. The typical retracement is the 38. The second most likely is the 23.6 fib, and then the third most likely is the 50 fib. All of that I explained in the SWAT course, by the way, if you're interested. So from that perspective, any of those 3 fibs are the most likely bouncing spots for continuation higher. All right, we had a good breakout. We had a good pullback here on the 1-hour chart. You can see we were talking about that. We did get the bounce. We did get the break above the 21 EMA, and we traded it right in here, and we took profit around here at the previous stop. We were a little bit conservative because of the bigger range, and we did take profit at 115 ourselves, but ultimately it did break above that. We were a little bit conservative with the target, but we grabbed some 40 pips or so. Fine, good enough for the day. All right, on that one trade only. So within, now there's one other scenario I want to discuss, because it could be that that this particular pattern is extended. So although it looks like 5 waves have been completed, it could be that within wave 5, by the way, it could be that this is wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, within wave 5. So the wave 5 is getting extended. That's the other scenario. So in that case, we need to put the fib from here to here. And in that case, price could bounce earlier, right? It could bounce, for instance, at the 115.20 or 115 at the weekly pivot point. Those could be already bouncing spots, all right? So that's another scenario. Got to keep an eye on that, I think, as well. And maybe 1-hour chart could be okay. 4-hour chart maybe even better. To keep an eye on where do we get the where do we get the bounce? We are getting the retracement right now as we speak, as expected. Question is when we will get the bounce. All right, so keep an eye on those 1-hour and 4-hour candles. Yesterday was a very bullish candle. It's exactly the bullish candle that we're looking for. Close above 115, close above this nasty and choppy consolidation zone. Close near the high. I think that this is confirming that our analysis was indeed correct, that we expected ABC here, ABC here, ABC here. Now that wave C is, I don't think, finished, because as I just mentioned, it could be still a wave 5 of 3, or otherwise it's still within the wave 4 up for one more wave, 5 at the very minimum. And you can see that why I think there's space, because the resistance levels are up in here. Looking at the weekly chart, I think that price has space up to the previous tops, as I said, around 117.50, 118. All right, pound dollar. We had a speech, a press conference from the Bank of England governor yesterday. Of course, we have a Brexit vote in the UK very soon. Last I looked, it was on Tuesday. If it hasn't been changed, it should be Tuesday, January 6th, no, 15, I believe. 15 indeed. So, of course, the price action might stay choppy and corrective, till that moment. And we didn't break this top yet. So I think that a triangle pattern is still possible. And you can see that price is now retracing, is bouncing off it. It made a little bit of a higher high here, but didn't break this top. So ultimately, I think if it breaks below this support trend line and this fractal here, these moving averages, there could be a bearish move down to test this bottom here. I think if we put a fib from the bottom to the top, the price might go to, for instance, the 50.61.8 fibs, or even 78.6 fib. Sorry about that, which could be again a bouncing spot. I'm trying to get my drawing tool, which could be again a bouncing spot as we get a triangle. All right, this could be wave A, B, C, D, E, for instance. All right, something like that, something like this could occur in my view. But let's see if we get the bearish break, and if we get some good momentum to the downside. If it does break for whatever reason above 128.12, then my bearish outlook is invalidated, and something else is going on. We might get some bigger ABC correction, and I would then expect price to probably go to 129, maybe even 130.50. Look for, in that case, a good daily candle close. Look for a pullback, a flag, and look for a breakout continuation. That's probably the best way to trade a bullish breakout. I wouldn't trade the immediate breakout. I think that would be too risky. But if you get a good daily candle and a flag and on a lower time frame like an hourly chart and a continuation, then it should be fine, even though it's counter trend and a reversal. All right. So otherwise, the bigger breakout, whether it's going to break above this top or this bottom, I would bet that that's probably going to happen on Tuesday during the vote. All right, check out more free analysis at elitecurrency.com. Hope to see you in our live channel, of course. Thanks in any case for watching, and see you all soon. Cheers.